Apparently, this motherfucking Facebook app is not going to let me bring on Ariel Mejias. Super unfortunate events. Super unfortunate because I had a lot of things I wanted to talk about with Ariel today. But technology is not on my side right now. For one thing, I'm working with like the 7 Plus iPhone. So, you know, iPhone don't want your shit running the way it's supposed to run unless you got the brand new shit, right? So I don't know if that's what's going on. I'm not sure if Facebook just hates me. I'm not sure if the app is overloaded or maybe there's too many people that like this Bull-NA-ChinaShop TV page. Maybe there's just too much stuff going on. I don't know, but it's frustrating as shit. Anyway, so we made it through the tornadoes. Everybody's safe. Everybody's fine. And this is just a week after getting back from Holland from another fiasco, trying to make a puppy delivery to Holland. Now, we had flights set up, and we did Chris says, Gina, I appreciate you guys chiming in from Oklahoma. Not avoiding the question, just trying to wait till Ariel gets in here to dig into shit. I'm having a hard time finding quality people to get an educated opinion from myself. I personally have watched 3 last place dogs, what I would consider to be last place in the class, get put up first place over some quality animals. You know, it's blowing my mind how these people are still judging, how these people are still working. And I'm not just talking about the ABKC. Obviously, one of the shows I attended was an ABKC event. I'm not just talking about ABKC. We see it going on in the BRC. We see it going on in the BBCR. The problem is with the smaller registries that are coming up, the issue is the attendance they have. Most of the time, they're not getting 100, 120, 130, 150 American bullies to choose from. So sometimes you're going to have mediocre stuff that has to be that has to be put up. Okay? But you still have to educate these judges somehow. Now, the ABKC is going through a program right now to educate all the judges on, to certify all the judges on these other breeds that we have. And when we say other breeds, what we're referring to is anything besides an American bully. Ariel, I tried to bring you on 3 times. I don't know what's happening. Shut my app down 3 times. I'm just gonna roll with it. Chime in. We'll have a conversation through the comments, bro. But like I said, I'm having a hard time understanding what's going on also. Okay? We have programs that are in place to educate on the French Bulldog, the Bull Terrier, the English Bulldog, the Oldie, the Shorty Bull. Who's educating these people on what an American bully should look like and what should be chose? I'm asking because I honestly don't know. I see it going on everywhere. You know, I see choices made from the IBKC shows and the USBR shows and the BRC shows and the BBCR shows. And of course, I see almost everything that happens as far as the ABKC shows. The good thing about live video now, or even videos posted after the show, the good thing about the live video now is we can actually see, we can sit down and watch an hour straight of what choices are being made. Obviously, you're only getting 3/4 of the picture. I feel like an actual picture of the show only gives you half of the picture. You know, a video still only giving you about 3/4 of the picture, 75% of what the judge is actually seeing, because the judge is right on top of the dog, touching the dog, putting his hands in the mouth of the dog. I don't need to see the mouth or the tail or the testicles to understand that I've seen last place dogs getting put up and winning first place ribbons. Terrier type dogs. The standard the way it is right now is pushes a bully, bulky, massive fucking dog. And I see every single weekend, Friday or Saturday in, Saturday out, Every fucking weekend, I see terrier type dogs winning first place when there's a ring full of a clear-cut American bullies. Who is telling these people that a terrier type dog should even be in contention for that first place ribbon? I don't understand. I agree 100%. Yeah, Gina, yes, there is an oldie. There's going to be a certification test and training on every breed in the ABKC, except from what I see, the American Bully. You understand what I'm saying? And the problem is, here's the problem. Here's the problem. We have so many people that do not understand what breed type is or what it means. When people say breed type, most of what I hear from what I'm hearing, the conversations I have, and the explanations that I have to give about breed type, most people conflate breed type and just mass and girth. Don't confuse the two. A massive dog with a pit bull head is still not a great example of the type. You understand what I'm saying? And again, it's hard to criticize judging. It's hard. I've been on both sides of the plate. You understand what I'm saying? I've been as a handler. I've been as just someone standing outside watching their dog show. I've been a fan standing on the sidelines with no horse in the race whatsoever. I've been a judge in the middle of it, making the decisions. You know, especially something like nationals, where you have the best examples of the breeds that we have to offer in the ring all in one weekend from all these breeds. I've been there. I've seen all this shit, okay? But it's very hard to criticize judging. And here's why. It's a subjective thing. It's an opinion-based thing. You know what I'm saying? It's similar to getting diagnosed by a doctor or a vet, right? Unless the doctor is running actual fucking physical tests to tell you what's going on, he's giving you his opinion first when he's diagnosing. If he can't give you a viable opinion, then they start doing tests. Same way with vets, okay? Most of the shit they're telling you is their fucking opinion based on their knowledge and their education and their experience. Most of the shit that they're telling you, okay? Unless they're hooking your dog up to fucking machines or testing the blood, most of what they're telling you is an opinion. Are you gonna go argue? Yes, I will. I do. I argue with vets and doctors all the time. You understand what I'm saying? We have new information coming out about a whole bunch of things every single day that changes how these people operate. Judging is the same exact way. There are certain things that you can't deny. Proportions, back length, height, shit like that, you can't deny that, right? That is a tangible thing that you can see and touch and say, yes, that's what it is. The rest of it, the rest of the whole process is an opinion-based job. It's that person's opinion based on his knowledge and education and experience. I just don't understand. I agree with the education. I agree with everyone getting certified as far as the ABKC goes. And I'm only speaking about that because I have experience with that. That's one of the reasons why I want to have Ariel on here, is because he can give me a little insight into what the BBCR has going on. I obviously want to talk to other registries and see what they have going on, what they have planned to educate their judges. Not that anyone gives a fuck, really. I mean, really, because if they did, this would have been taken care of 5-6 years ago, before I even started judging. And one of the reasons I came in was to try to help people understand what the fuck breed type means, what we should be looking for in the ring, what should be chose. Obviously, I don't have all the answers, and I'm learning on a day-to-day basis also. My problem is I feel like I'm the only motherfucker that even cares about preserving the future and the look of the American Bully. And we're not, I understand Gina's going off about oldies. We've got a bunch of shorty pull people in here. Not even what I'm talking about right now. That's been a problem for a minute. We have 16-inch oldies winning everything, you know? Not to down any of the dogs, but if there's a height limit on the breed, it should be within the height limit, right? If the standard says there's a max and a minimum for height, that means anything over or above is a disqualification. Shouldn't be in the ring. The way the standard's written now, as long as it's proportioned and balanced, and the height doesn't even matter. You can go above or below the height, which I understand that. But before, there was no height allowance. You know what I mean? Or exceptions. There was a minimum and a maximum. And that shit got overlooked. You know what I mean? As far as shorty bulls, there's been a maximum height on shorty bulls since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of shorty bulls, there's been a maximum height. But I see two 15.5-inch shorty bulls winning ribbons. How is this possible? Maximum height for a shorty bull is 15 inches. So somebody tell me how a 15.5-inch shorty bull is winning ribbons. Do we not have wickets at the shows? Right now we have a weight limit on French Bulldogs, 30 pounds. How many scales have you seen? I've seen one show with a scale. Two shows. Nationals, which everybody lost their fucking mind when there was an overweight dog that got dismissed. It's a weight limit. What? This is common sense. This is not, I shouldn't have to explain this to you. If there's a height limit or a weight limit, if it says minimum or maximum, anything above or below that is fucking disqualification. I'm not making the rules, man. I'm reading out of the book. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, going back to the American Bullies, from what I've been seeing, not just the political side of shit, not just people investing into the show and then showing their dogs in the show, and then that same person who's showing their dogs in the show driving the judges around before and after the show. Come on. How obvious is that shit? And it sucks. It sucks because I've been pushing. I don't know. And this sounds like self-righteous shit. Sounds like I'm bitching because shit's not going my way. What I'm really concerned about is 5 years from now, 5 years from right now, if shit continues to go the way it is, we're going to have half of the dogs in the ring are going to be bully, massive, overdone dogs. The other half is going to be terrier-type dogs who still get upset because they don't win, because they don't understand that terrier-type dog is not what the standard's looking for or pushing right now. Hasn't been forever. But these people are still going to be upset because the judges are going to continue to pick these terrier-type dogs in smaller shows and allow them to advance to the champion class and the grand champion classes. It's ridiculous. It's bullshit. And the thing that upsets me is we've got half the judges understand, not even half, a handful of the judges that I'm seeing understand what we're pushing and what we're trying to go for. And those are the dogs getting picked. Hang on, let me read Ariel's comment real quick. There's always been a disregard for the rules, whether it's the way the show is supposed to be conducted or the breed standard. Black and white basically means nothing. It's just a suggestion. You might want to do it this way, but if you don't, well, fuck it. Well, listen, there is a lot of gray area in conformation dog shows. There's a lot of gray area you're never going to be able to get away from. There's going to be show hosts that kind of do whatever they want because they're not actually, the shows aren't actually thrown by the registries. The shows are thrown by individuals. They're not even really working for the registry. The registry just sanctioned that show for a fee. So I understand it reflects on the ABKC, but most of the time, the ABKC or the registry, whoever it is, BRC, BBCR, fucking, I don't know, there's 100 different random letter kennel clubs that are up now. But the shows, unless they're actually thrown by the registry. The show host is not even really working for the registry. The registry is just sanctioning the show for a fee. So the registry gets paid for you to put that registry on your ribbons. A lot of things are about money, Michael. We just had a comment. This proves it's about money. Everything in life's about money. I hate it as much as everybody else. Everything in life's about money. There's not anything you're going to be able to do to get around that. Accept that. Move on. Let's come up with a solution. That's what I'm saying. Let's accept the fact that shit's not perfect, and let's figure out how we can make the shit better. Now we have a couple people joining that are just jumping in right now. We're talking about where can we find quality judging in bull breeds in 2018. It's becoming more difficult, in my opinion. Becoming harder and harder every day. But I want to go back to what we were just talking about. There's always a black and white. There's always a black and white written, like these are cemented concrete things. But there's always a gray area. There's always a gray area. You understand what I'm saying? Chris, so we just had another comment. Judge against the standard, not the dogs. That sounds fantastic. If we lived on Fantasy Island and we had a rainbow bridge to get there and we had unicorns to carry us, that sounds fantastic. That's not reality. I understand it's ideal and what should happen. That's not reality. Again, what I'm talking about is real world solutions. What can we do as a community to help solve this problem? And it is a fucking problem. We have judges being paid to travel around the world that have no concept of what breed type is for the American Bully, for any fucking breed. They have no concept. We have judges being paid to travel around the world to fault judge and pick a dog. Listen, here's where a lot of people get tripped up, okay? We have in our minds what we think should be what quote unquote ideal canine locomotion, generic canine locomotion. We have this, what we see, a pretty top line and a pretty gait from the side. That doesn't always mean that that dog is built the best for the breed, okay? If you have an English Bulldog that's floating and reaching out way past its chin, I know it looks pretty. I know it's going to look pretty and it's going to catch your eye, okay? I know it looks pretty. That's not ideal for an English Bulldog. That dog should have a roll. That dog's whole body should roll side to side when it moves. It shouldn't reach any farther than its chin in the front. Moderate drive in the back. You understand what I'm saying? If you compare generic, what we call generic canine locomotion, and what we think ideal movement should be, or pretty, quote unquote, pretty movement, if we compare that to breeds like the Basset Hound, the Dachshund, the English Bulldog, the Frenchie, if we compare this picture of ideal movement to those breeds, you're not going to find one breed that looks pretty to you in your brain, or not one example. But there's a movement for each one of these breeds. There's an individual movement, specific ideal movement for all these breeds. So when people come into the American Bully looking for movement like it's an Amstaff, that's way off. That's way off. The standard actually says minimal convergence. Both legs, both sides, moving on the same plane, parallel movement, wide set shoulder blades, wide stance. So why do we still see dogs that almost single track when they move winning? There's no possible way a correctly built American Bully could even get close to single tracking and be correct. It has a barrel rib cage. It has wide set shoulder blades. It has wide hips to match the shoulder blades. So how could it be possible for a dog with a barrel rib cage, wide set shoulders, and wide hips to single track in the front when it moves? It's fucking impossible. It's impossible. And a dog that moves on the same plane is not going to look pretty and floaty and tremendous reach and drive. It's not going to have that. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to have moderate drive, still going to be powerful when it moves, still going to be effortless when it moves, but it's going to be considerably more choppy than these tremendous reach and drive breeds. Just because of how the dog's supposed to be built. If you want a good example, look at a bull terrier and how a bull terrier moves. Not the terrier type bull terriers that you're seeing all over the US right now. Look at a real deal, heavy built, bulky ass bull terrier and how it moves. Feet are going to be on the same plane. Big wide rib cage, wide stance. Even though the shoulders are built correctly and the legs come down pillars out of the chest. You're still going to have all these things. Wide hips to match that. It's just, but see, here's the thing. When I try to say, hey, you know, what was the logic behind this terrier type dog winning over this bully dog? Someone will say, oh, that dog's a little stiff in the rear. This dog's a little... I understand what you're saying. They all have physical faults. Do you understand? Every dog in that ring has physical faults that aren't ideal. But how many dogs in that ring can you look at for half a second from 50 yards away and say that's an American bully? If you look at 3 dogs in that ring for more than 5 seconds and you're going back and forth, is that an American bully? I don't know. Kind of looks like a terrier. That fucking dog better be absolutely perfect up close. It better get better as you get closer. Because if you can't recognize that's an American bully from 50 yards away, it's not a great example of the breed. Regardless of how it moves, or how tight its fucking feet are, or how perfect its teeth sit together, regardless of all that, if you can't recognize that dog 50 yards away as that breed, it's not a great example of the breed. Period. So what's the solution? Right now we're just bitching. We're just having a bitch fest. So what's the solution? What do we do to fix this shit? How do we get it through the organization's heads? I don't even know the president of all these clubs. But how do we get it through the organization's heads that someone needs to pay attention to what's going on at these shows and what's being picked? This is something I've had a problem with since before I started judging. And I really thought that I was going to be able to make a big impact. But see, here's the thing. And here's another reason. Here's another reason why a lot of these judges don't want to come out of their, stick their neck out and make some of these decisions. Because we have people that sign petitions against judges if they don't pick their dog. You understand what I'm saying? We have people that write complaints as long as a book report for college because their dog didn't get picked. So I'm sure it's hard for these organizations to sift through all that bullshit and actually find some real complaints and real stuff to investigate. You know what I mean? But how hard would it be? How hard would it be to send somebody to each show to evaluate? The fucking principal in an elementary school comes to sit in class at once every semester to make sure the teacher is doing what the fuck they're supposed to be doing. Right? How hard would it be to send someone to these shows that's not biased, that doesn't have a dog in the race? Listen, Carmen, I agree. There's a lot of crybabies that lose. But you say you win some and you lose some. I have no problem with that. I have as much experience in that area as almost anybody. What I'm telling you lately, what I'm trying to tell you, is I'm seeing dogs that should be last place, that shouldn't even be considered for a ribbon, winning first place over dogs, over quality dogs. We can't have that. Something's got to be done about that shit. Something's got to be done about it. And what I've been saying the past couple of years is, Find, if you see judges that you just don't agree with, don't show under them anymore. But it's getting to a point where you're only going to have 10 judges that you can show under. Do you understand what I'm saying? And obviously, mostly what we're referencing is the ABKC, because, like I said, the smaller registries, it's really hard to be critical because they don't have the numbers. They don't have as many dogs showing up, so the quality is just inherently not going to be as bountiful, plentiful as it will be if you have bigger numbers. And the thing is, instead of bearing down, instead of circling the wagons and really focusing on the education of the current judges, every registry out there is still hiring new judges. I understand we have all these shows, but if we don't have enough competent judges, maybe we should cut back on the number of shows. I don't know. That's just a thought to me. I'm not running the organization, though. Yeah, and I don't think, someone suggested maybe if you recorded it, there's live videos everywhere. The shit is recorded. The people at the top of these organizations see this shit. They do. All this shit is recorded already. And this has happened in the United States. This has happened in Europe. This has happened in the UK. This has happened in Australia. Wherever there are shows, wherever there are judges going and being paid to travel, this is happening. Right? So I think a solution, honestly, the easiest solution I can think of is hiring someone, spending a little bit of that fucking money that all the registries are raking in. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how many new litters of puppies were registered yesterday. I'm sure it's a lot. I don't have the numbers. I'm sure it's a fuck ton. We're just going to officially call it a fuck ton. Okay? That's the official measurement of the Bull-NA-ChinaShop podcast. There was a fuck ton of litters registered yesterday. All right? Take a portion of that money. Hire somebody to go evaluate these judges without them even fucking knowing that that person's going to the show. How hard would that be? Simple. Even if you want to send the director of judges, if you've got a director of judges that has no problem calling people out when they're doing some bullshit, send that person. Have the director of judges. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? Just have someone go evaluate what is going on at these shows. We just had a comment from Eric. I can't say your last name, bro. I'm not even going to try. Everyone need to breed better dogs. I've been saying that for years, homie. Here's the problem. The confirmation show is set up to show you what the better dogs are. It's set up to show us, not you, us, everyone, set up to show us what should be and shouldn't be bred for the future. Do you understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people have been asking me lately, why hasn't Bus Jr. been in the ring? Why don't you show Cletus more? Why don't you show Maestro more? First of all, I'm a judge. So I don't like to go in the ring, right? I don't personally like to go in and handle dogs. But I also feel like sometimes it's not a judge lineup that I have any fucking respect for enough to put my dog in there. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it sucks, man. That frustrates me and discourages me more than you guys know. Like, I can't even explain. I can't even put it into words. How it makes me feel to not be confident enough in the judging to put my fucking dogs in the ring. Do you understand what I'm saying? No way. There's no way. And I'm not going to be the guy that loses his shit ringside, because to me that's not going to accomplish anything anyway. What I'm trying to get is a solution. Where I'm trying to go is a road to make it better. What do we have to do as a community, as an as the ABKC, as the BBCR, as the BRC? What do we have to fucking do to get everybody on the same page? First of all, anybody that was hired more than 5 years ago needs to have a recertification program. That's it. Period. If you've been judging more than 5 years for any of these places, you need to have a recertification program. In my opinion, we should have a recertification program every fucking year. Every year we should recertify on these breeds. On every breed. If something changes, if the direction the organization wants to go changes. Speaking of judges, speaking of somebody we can all respect, Ron Ramos. Thanks for joining us. Ron, we need you back, bro. We need some help, man. We need some judges that knows what the fucking American Bully looks like around here, man. But in order to get everyone on the same page, I think the first thing we got to do is a yearly recertification process. Yearly. Now, the thing is, everyone, not everyone, but a lot of these places are doing certifications. A lot of these places are doing an education. Here's the thing. Who's educating these people? Who's educating the judges? I think it starts there. You understand what I'm saying? I don't reference the UKC a lot when we're talking about these American Bully registries. The UKC does have American Bully shows. I don't feel like the UKC has any grasp, zero grasp on what an American Bully should look like or should be, or the essence of the breed, or what we're looking for as far as type goes. Hey, David just said, David Garcia said, Papa Pitt, best judge, hands down. Hey, fuckbag, I'm still a judge, okay? You're going to throw that right in my face? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Nothing but respect for Ron. Like I said, we need him back. I think maybe Ron and I need to sit down and have a conversation, talk about some of these trips he's been on. This motherfucker's been around the world. Stop judging for the ABKC, still going around the world to judge. See what I'm saying? If you're good at what you do, you can go anywhere and do anything. But it's funny to me to watch some of these people ride that wave as long as they can, because they know if the ABKC cuts some of these motherfuckers off, they're not going to get hired ever again in their life to judge anything. You see what I mean? That's the difference. That's the difference. You can let go and still do fine. Or you can get let go and never judge again. You know, that's why I think a lot of these people are staying where they're staying. And I don't know. People have been messaging me already asking about when I'm judging next and where I'm going to be. And I don't know, man. The next one I have scheduled is June 10th in Nashville. And I have nothing after that. I'm so discouraged with it right now. Like I'm frustrated to the point where I'm not sure if that's what even I want to do right now. It's embarrassing to me to be put in the same category as some of these people. If I were some of these registries, I would be fucking embarrassed to have some of these people representing me. And I'm sure that some people say the same shit about me, because I swear, and I have fucking tattoos that are out in the open for everybody to fucking see. Because I don't have a fucking filter. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. If you ask for an honest opinion, that's what you're going to get. Not saying that's the way everyone needs to be, because we need a softer approach sometimes. We need someone on that other side to reach those people who can't even stand listening to me talk. I get that. We don't all need to be Ty Lumley. I'm not saying that. That's not what I want. What I'm saying is, if I were the fucking organization, I would be embarrassed to have some of these people representing me. They're incompetent, and I don't know. Incompetent just sums it all up. They have no idea. They don't understand breed type. They don't understand confirmation judging. All they understand is fault judging because that's what the fucking person before them taught them. It's crazy to me. Some of these people that educate us on breed type, like Richard Beauchamp, would be spinning in his motherfucking grave if he could see some of the shit that I see week in and week out. It's discouraging. It makes me not even want to do it. And that's like sad for me because I love it. It's one of the things I love the most in the world. Breaking down dogs, finding the best example for the next generation, explaining to people what they need to do for the next generation. I love it. And it makes me sad because it's discouraging to the point where I don't know if it's even what I want to do anymore. Gina chimed in, said, I think the judges who can educate, even gently educate the owners, new handlers will last the test of time. Well, hopefully. Gina, I'd like to think that that's true. I'd like to think that people that take the time to educate themselves, take the time to have a conversation with somebody, whether it's the harsh, honest truth or whether it's a little, whether it's delivered a little softer to where people aren't as abrasive towards it. I agree. If you're taking the time to educate yourself and do your job, you get nothing but respect from me. And the people that I respect know I respect them. So, contrarily, the people that I don't respect know I don't respect them also. What's the actual requirements in becoming an ABKC judge? Best place to find that is ABKC website, my friend. I don't know the requirements. When I started, it was 4 years ago, so it's probably different now. Let's see. Carmen Blanchard chimed in. People need to stop wearing their feelings on their shoulders and know that some dogs are show dogs, and some are breed stock, and some are pets. This is what needs to be realized from some that try to show. There are a lot of great pets out there. Yeah, I mean, I agree, Carmen. I agree. Not every dog is a show dog. And what I mean by show dog is, like, let's say a best of winners, a best in show, best in breed, those kind of dogs, best champions, reaching the grand champion class. A lot of dogs aren't going to make that, aren't going to be there. And a lot of those dogs that aren't going to make that, aren't going to be there, could still be used as breeding tools, no question. Here's the problem. How do we get people to understand that just because a dog's super bully but a fucking wreck doesn't make it a brood stock dog? I feel like brood stock dogs are overall what you want to get out of your program, maybe one thing that's going to hold them back from winning in the ring. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe one little thing that's going to hold them back from winning in the ring. That's still a good dog, quality dog, just not going to win in the ring. That's brood stock. That's what you're breeding and not showing. Not just Joe Shit the Ragman's basset hound looking bully that lives down the street. Oh, look at how much bone he's got. That's brood stock. That's not true. And I think back when I was breeding Jackpot, I think a lot of people were saying that to me because they didn't like certain things about that dog. Obviously, I proved everyone wrong, produced champions off him, grand champions off his children. That's brood stock. Something that brings so much to the table that you need to breed it, but it's not going to win in the ring. It's got something that's not going to win in the ring. That is brood stock. Do you understand what I'm saying? The rest of it's pets. Jamie Sweet, I love your face. I got up on a rant, or I would have come down and we could have done this shit together. I was trying to get Ariel on here to talk some shit. Requirements. Breed a lot of dogs, sell dogs, buy dogs, lose, win with other breeds. Compete before you become a judge. Watch other breeds work, race, go to the ground. Do dogs. Listen, I don't know if you guys ever bought a dog from Joe Shit the Ragman before. Not great dogs. Joe Shitty, not great dogs. That's why we call him Joe Shit the Ragman. Anyway, I think the biggest solution is a certification process every single year. The judges that don't want to go through the process don't need to be fucking judging. Do you understand what I'm saying? If we're going to get this shit to a consistent level, if we're going to get everybody on the same page, if we're going to get all the judges in the same stratosphere, we have to have some sort of yearly certification. If you're a police officer, the laws are changing every fucking year. So you have to get recertified every fucking year, or at least take tests, or even a firefighter to know the shit. You're going to have to get recertified every year. To be a car mechanic, to work on fucking cars, you got to ASC certification every fucking year. Okay? Will William just made a really good comment that couldn't be more right up my alley. Will Williams says some judges also say bully over structure. Okay? Will William, this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Okay? Bully, or what people consider to be breed type, over structure. First of all, what the fuck do you mean when you say structure? What does anybody mean when they say structure? The structure is part of the type. The structure is part of the standard. The structure is part of the fucking dog. So to have a good dog, the structure has to be there. What the problem is, and people don't understand, to have a good American bully, the bully also needs to fucking be there. You can't have one without the other. You can't say bully over structure, structure over bully. That's bullshit. That doesn't even make sense to people that know what the fuck they're talking about. You can't have a good dog without the structure, and you can't have a good dog without the bully. You have to have them both. So if you got a dog with good structure, but no bully, that's not a good dog. That's my problem. That's the dogs that are winning right now. Well, I shouldn't say right now, because we have a lot of good dogs that are still winning. But to have a good American bully, you have to have the structure, and you have to have the bully. Okay? A bully-ass dog with shitty structure is still a shitty dog. Not bully, a thin, fine, refined dog with great structure is still a shitty American bully. The bully needs to be there. The structure needs to be there, both. That's breed type. Do you understand what I'm saying? That everything that's in the standard is part of the type. The top line, the rib cage, the shoulders, everything. The feet, the head, everything. You have to have both, William. I don't think you understand that. Sounds like, from the comments, you came on the video to do a little bit of shade, to throw a little bit of shade on the podcast. I don't give a fuck. People that say bully over structure or structure over bully really don't have any clue what the fuck they're talking about. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to bash you. I'm just saying, you can't have a good dog without the bully. You can't have a good dog without the structure. Okay? Period. That's it. It's the overall dog. Balance, proportion, that's much more important than any of the shit you're talking about. You know? Character, the silhouette of the dog, being able to recognize that that's an American bully from 3 blocks away. That's breed type. You can't tell if a dog's got good structure from 3 blocks away, but you can fucking tell if that's an American bully or not. You understand what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? You can't even see the structure from 3 blocks away. Quote unquote structure. But you can fucking see if it's an American bully or not. That's breed type. That's what separates breeds. If you see a basset hound 3 blocks away, you're going to be able to say that's a basset hound. If you see a beagle and a basset hound standing next to each other 3 blocks away, you're going to be able to tell if they're good examples of their breed. You're going to be able to tell, hey, this is a Basset Hound, this is a Beagle. That's breed type. That's the difference. Being able to instantly recognize an individual as a member of its breed. That's fucking breed type. So don't use structure over bully and bully over structure. That's ridiculous. People actually misquote me all the time for saying that. If you don't have bully, you don't have a good American bully. If you don't have structure, you don't have a good American bully. You have to have both. Ron Ramos, I'm glad you said that, actually. Read the article called The Judge's Rule of Five. Love that article. Ronnie, Richard Beauchamp, that's what we're talking about. The 5 elements of breed type. I actually went pretty in depth about that. I think maybe two episodes ago with Jamie Sweet, maybe 3 episodes ago. But the point is, I think just to get everybody on the same track, we're going to need a certification program. Nick, just Google Judge's Rule of 5, my friend. It'll come up. Ron probably does have a link, though. I feel like we're losing a little bit of the continuity that we need for everybody to be on the same page in choosing quality dogs. And we're not even getting into the other breeds, the English Bulldog, the French Bulldog. I mean, we've had examples up on these organizations' websites that are not good examples, but that's the representation of, 3 years ago, if you looked on the ABKC website at the Frenchie and at the English Bulldog, not great examples, but representing the breed, the whole breed for the ABKC. If you look at the BBCR website, same way when they first got started. The thing is, I feel like we need to go outside and have someone come in from the outside and just educate all of us, myself included. I'm not putting myself out of this bubble. I want the education also. I want us all to be picking consistent dogs. I want to feel like if there's 5 dogs in the ring, you can see the top 3. But that's not what's happening lately. And like I said, there's certain places, certain judges where there's really nice dogs winning. If you look at the top 10 American bullies, really nice dogs. If you look at the grand champions that are earning their grand champions lately, nice dogs. If you look at the grand champion class, best of breeds, best of show at nationals, really nice dogs. I'm not saying the sky is falling. I'm not saying we scrap the whole thing. I'm not saying we throw the baby away with the bathwater. What I'm saying is we just need to get more consistent. We need to all be on the same page. Last one from Will William. We'll get out of here. So what would the difference between a recrit program? I think he meant recert program, recertification program, and sticking to the standard. Will William, I don't know. I can't trust a guy with 2 first names. Will William, Bill. That's what I'm gonna call you from now on. Bill. A recertification program is gonna keep everything current and up to date in your mind. Okay, we've seen, just like I said with the mechanics. You think a mechanic forgets how to fix a fucking car? No. There are new things that come up. There are things that you need to be reminded of. There are, maybe points that you're focusing on coming into the new year. Every registry's responsibility is to preserve the future of the breeds. Okay? Sometimes an organization needs to push their judges, push their enthusiasts in a certain direction to preserve the future of the fucking breed, to preserve the type of the breed. Do you understand what I'm saying? So a recertification, first of all, there's been no certification on American bullies in the first place. There's no certification on American bullies in the first place. You have to take an entry exam when you come in. For all these organizations, there's no certification program in place. There's an entry test. There's qualifications you have to meet, but there's no initial education program that you need to go through, or even a small fucking certification test. How hard would that be? A small, you know what I'm saying? For the American Bully. Yeah, can you imagine if doctors didn't recertify every year? Can you imagine if a mechanic just went 10 years and never learned the new shit that was coming every year? Could you imagine if a police officer didn't learn the new laws and shit that was coming in every year? Recertifications and just a certification process, the certification process in any form will be good to help keep everybody on the same page. Okay? Because we can all read that standard. And get back to your question, Bill. Reading the standard, that's a subjective thing. That's an open to interpretation type of thing. You understand? Like a religious document is what it is. Everyone, okay, if you have 5 people that read that standard, you're going to have 5 different ideal looks in your brain. Obviously, they're going to be similar. They're going to be close. But it's going to be a pretty wide window from one end of the spectrum to the other between the 5 people and what they saw in that standard. A recertification system, process, program, whatever the fuck you want to call it, recertification will help us tighten that window down. You understand what I'm saying? It'll take a little bit of the interpretation out of what we're trying to look at. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't know what I mean about personal interpretation, a lot of people confuse this with personal preference. Individual interpretation is when you read the standard and descriptive words, adjectives for the English people, for the fucking grammar, whatever you want to call them, the police, the fucking English police, adjectives, when you read these descriptive words like large, blocky, square, what I see as square and what you see as square could be 2 different things. What I consider large, what you consider large, could be 2 different things. I'm a large guy. I'm a large human being. So large, what's large to me might be giant to some people. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just personal preference is reading the standard and then forming that vision of what you see in the standard around what you like. Not how you define certain words, but what you like as an individual. That's preference. Interpretation is just a different definition of the descriptive words that we're all reading. Most standards read almost the same way. Everything with 4 legs is kind of built similar. There's going to be this words that are used over and over and phrases that are used from standard to standard. What separates these dogs is these descriptive words that are in there. Deep, pronounce, stop. You understand what I'm saying? What I consider to be deep and pronounced, as far as a stop goes, might be something different from what you consider. If you come from bull terriers, any kind of fucking stop is a pronounced stop. See what I'm saying? So we are all going to define these words differently. That's your individual interpretation. Your personal preference, which should be left out, but it's one of the hardest things to leave out when you're judging, is reading that standard and then forming your opinions around what you like, the look that you like, not how you define the words. So it's a little bit different in there. But I think it'll help take some of the personal interpretation out. I think a certification process or program or test will just help us narrow that interpretation window a little bit. That's all I'm saying. And I think it would help because I think we've got good people involved, especially with the ABKC. I can't speak on other organizations, obviously. I mean, I can, I do. I'm just not right now. But from what I'm seeing in the ABKC as far as the people, okay, I'm gonna address this one more time. Somebody just said, when you have a written standard, all judges have to be in the same page. Nothing has to happen. That's a fantasy world. What I'm trying to get is what we can do, what can happen to get us all closer on the same page. Just because there's a written standard doesn't mean everyone comprehends or understands that standard the same way. That's why when you were in school, took all these CAT testing and ACT testing that tested your reading comprehension. How many of you motherfuckers got a high score on that? That's all I'm saying. If you couldn't comprehend 3 paragraphs on a fucking Facebook post last Tuesday, how are you going to comprehend a written standard that's this long, using words you've never even seen before? Comprehension comes into it. Just because we have a written document, we have a fucking Declaration of Independence. It's not even open for interpretation, and people still interpret that differently. You understand what I'm saying? Just because we have a written document does not by any means that people are going to be on the same page. Reading comprehension and being able to understand what the words that are in that fucking standard have a lot to do with it. And I think a certification program would just narrow all that shit down. That's all I'm saying. Let's see, one more from Jamie Sweet, and then we really are going to close this. Open your minds for one. If you like bulldogs, that does not mean do you judge rat terriers and choose the bully one. You judge the standard. I agree 1,000%. I agree 1,000%, Jamie. You know, understand the type, understand the breed, understand what the fuck type means, and get us a certification program we can all get on the same page. That's all I'm asking for, man. That's all I'm asking for. Okay, if you want to see more episodes of the Bull-NA-China Shop, oh, one more, Oscar. You think the variety is too much? No, I don't. No, I don't. There's giant poodles, there's standard poodles, and there's toy poodles. All fucking poodles. All look pretty close to the same, but different sizes. You know, maybe people are confused by the classic class. Maybe because there's a little bit of difference in actual size and mass between the standard and classic. But the varieties, that's an excuse people use because they're fed up and they're uneducated, in my opinion. Anyway, if you want to see more Bull-NA-China Shop podcasts, search on iTunes for the Bull-NA-China Shop podcast. Check out YouTube, Bull-NA-ChinaShop TV, or hit like and follow on this page right now on Facebook, Bull-NA-ChinaShop TV. All the older episodes are on here. All the older episodes are on iTunes, and all the older episodes are on the YouTube channel as well. If you haven't yet, follow us on Instagram, Bull-NA-ChinaShop TV. Follow us on Facebook, like I said, Bull-NA-ChinaShop TV. Twitter, Bull-NA-ChinaShop Thai, Bull-ChinaShop Thai. I'm all over the place, man. Just hit search Bull-NA on any of these fucking platforms, and my shit will come up. I appreciate everybody for watching. I love your faces. Shout out to Jeremy. Shout out to everybody that sent me a message the past week asking where the podcast was. We were just trying to survive these tornadoes, fam. Anyway, I appreciate your faces. I love your faces. And I'll see you next week sometime. I might do another one on Monday just because to make up for last week. I'm not sure yet. Episode 95 in the books. 5 more to 100. I need ideas for number 100. I need ideas, people. Ideas for episode 100. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to see? Who do you want to see on the show? My bad to Ariel. Sorry we couldn't get you on, brother. I love the comments. Love everybody chiming in. Share this shit. I love your faces. See you next week.